Hello everybody. Today we're going to be installing a Multiflex cloth cover. This is the kit that you'll get, and we'll open it up right here. Get an instruction sheet, this rubber ring, the cloth center. This ring here, which is actually two halves, with a couple of screws there and there holding it together, and an Allen key for those screws. This goes over the Multiflex on either a hand or an ETD, and we'll get it installed. So the first thing that we're going to do is separate the two halves of this ring here. So it's got two screws, one right here and one right here. Take the Allen key that came with the kit, just take those out. There's the other one. Okay. Once you got those two screws out, where the screws came from, it should separate just right there. You'll have two halves. We're going to grab our device with the Multiflex wrist on it. And in your instructional sheet, it says to place each halves of these rings underneath these buttons on either side. If you have one, I'd suggest grabbing a 9/64 Allen wrench and unscrewing the screws on these buttons. If you remove them and get them out of the way, it makes this install a little bit easier. Just unscrew them and they'll pull right out. You have a little peg on the end right there, and it'll go into a hole in each side to line it up when we go to put it back in. It is worth noting that the screws on these buttons are not the same. They have the same thread, but one is slightly longer and it's been machined, so some of the threads on the end are taken off. And that one will go on the side with the spring latch, which is this brass latch on this side. We'll go ahead and grab two sides of our ring, stick them on here, and there's a set of pegs and holes on each of these. You want to do your best to line those up. There we go. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and put our screws back in so that that doesn't come apart. Alright, we'll go to each screw and make sure it's nice and snug. Now we see that gap right there close. Right. Once we get these on, we'll go ahead and put our buttons back on. So again, there is a little peg on the end of that part, and I'll go into a hole on the bottom of each of these parts. Line that hole up. Start with our longer screw with the threads cut off on the end. I'll go on the spring latch side. And we'll tighten that down until snug. And we'll do the same thing on this other side. Alright. Good. This collar It's got a rubber ring on each end, sort of a channel in the middle of it. And so one of those is going to sit on the lip of this bottom plate on the hand, or the ETD. The other one will sit on the lip of these rings that we just placed on. So sort of got an oval shape to match with the oval shape of both of these parts. I'm going to keep that orientation as we're going to place this on. And the first set, we're going to stretch over that ring. There we go. There we go. Okay. And we'll start with this lower ring. Just line up that groove in that rubber piece with the lip of that ring. Can be a little tight. There we go. And we'll start with the top side. Alright. Once you've got that rubber ring seated on the lip of either of these, then that is good. And that is the install.